Well, I'm very curious about the world. That's true. I love
Yeah,
different cultures. I love to
yeah.
learn new things about different
You speak
cultures.
5 languages.
Yes, yes, I do. I'm learning Chinese now.
You are. Someone asked me if you could say "get cozy with Josie" in all 5 languages.
Oh, meine Güte.
Meine Güte. Or welcome back to Get Cozy with Josie, and we are here for the season finale of season one. I'm your host, Josie Lentner, and I know I always say I have a special guest, but I have an extra special guest today. My mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Fantastic.
Fantastic. You know, um, you know what's one thing about you that I always like, whenever I talk about you, I always say that you support me no matter what I do.
That's true.
And like I feel as though you kind of like go against the grain of being like a traditional Haitian mom because you let me do whatever I want.
Yeah, well, whatever you want is graduating from high school, going to college. Um, it's why wouldn't I support that?
But what a lot of people don't know about you, I mean, like opposed from what you currently do now, is that you were kind of unconventional too. Like you, obviously, you went to law school, but you also got an art degree. So why did you go against the grain?
Well, you know, I always had heart, the love for paintings and the arts in me, but in Haiti, it's not well seen. They don't expect you to make a living from that. And but I've also liked law because my grandfather was a lawyer. He did a very important law process, uh, procès de la consolidation, which was around against corruption. So, I've had both loves, and then my best friend got me into. She was taking art classes, and she invited me, and the guy was famous. I mean, and he was amazing. Roland Dorceli studied with Picasso. Was telling me, he lives in Paris in the 50s. So I was able to study art every weekend while I studied law. And that just came to be. Sometimes you don't choose those things. But when the opportunity comes, and such an opportunity to study with Roland City, and it was not interfering with my law degree, so of course I took it.
You know, we did so many like arts and crafts when I was a kid, but I never thought I was creative because like you're an artist, like you paint, like you can sketch things. I've never really had the capacity to do things like that, so I didn't think I was creative growing up.
I don't know if you remember, but I got you to make one painting because you wanted to paint so bad because I was, when I start painting, I'm in another world
Yeah,
and
you are. It's like
transported, cannot be disturbed. And then you wanted to learn painting. Remember, we did a session and you were like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. It's a lot of work.
yeah.
It's not as fun. But you did complete, and this is the painting, the flower, the birds of paradise flower pot that is in the hallway. That's your only painting.
It's a good painting.
It is beautiful.
It's a good
It
painting.
is gorgeous. So you had a future in the arts, but you have to follow your heart. It was not in your heart to do. But singing,
Oh my God, mom,
yeah,
please.
yeah, that I would have been so proud to have my soprano daughter perform at the Art Center, you know, and but you decided that for a while it was not for you. So, but we each have our talent. You did have fun singing, huh? Okay, I still have those pictures
Mom,
of
this is
you.
not a time for you to grill me. I let you on my podcast, and you. How's that make any sense? Are you not proud of me?
I think you're amazing. I just said it's one talent that
It's
you
just if
put
you would have
aside.
did this one thing, I would have been more proud.
No, I know, not more proud, but it's a talent that you did not explore. So that's all. Soprano, my God.
You know, there's a part of me that I knew deep in my heart that you were gonna bring that up, but I
How
was
do you know?
hoping because you bring it up every day, but I was hoping you wouldn't.
Well, I tried to get your brother to sing at the Munich Boys Choir, so it didn't work out either. Now he's singing rap.
Yeah. We love you, Paul. Because he watches this.
He does?
Paul,
Okay.
my big brother Paul. Paul watches all of my podcasts.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's good.
awesome.
He's very supportive too, you know
Just
that.
like you're extremely supportive.
Yeah.
Um, what? Because I guess we'll like pivot and go into the topic of Paul because we are talking about Paul. You did another thing that was unconventional. You moved to Germany at the age of 24 and got married. Like, I feel like a lot of people are like, with me, they're just like, you just like do things. And I'm like, I mean, mom, you just do things. But it was a beautiful experience because I feel like moving to Europe, just based on like me growing up with you and growing up with like how you raised me and comparing, contrasting the way you raised me to like other Haitian parents or to like children I know whose parents are a little bit more European. 12 years in Europe definitely changed your mindset. Like, how do you feel living in Europe really like shaped you? Because you were 24. Like, that's such a pivotal time in your life. Like, you're growing up.
Yes. Well, let's put that in the right perspective. I went to Europe thinking I was going to come back in Haiti. Okay. That's a totally different going to Europe. Okay.
Yeah.
I had just finished law school, had a big wedding in Pétionville at l'Église Saint-Pierre, 12 bridesmaids. And then I was supposed to go to Germany for a few months because my ex-husband at the time had a business in Haiti and he was supposed to come back. So he told me. And then it happened to be, instead of coming back, we stayed there. And I had planned to go back, open my law practice in Haiti. And thank God I had studied arts because I was able to do a lot of exhibition. I could not practice law in Germany. I didn't speak German. So thank God art saved me in the sense that I was able to do a lot of art exhibit and exhibited at the Petit Palais. And how, going at 24 to Germany shaped me. The European experience was really very tremendous in the way I think and the way I am because, it was a totally different. I became an adult in Germany in a sense, and adopted a lot of the ways of being, the punctuality, a lot of things that I do up to today are a lot influenced by it was 12 years at the end of the day. And it's a totally different mentality. But it was an amazing experience, and definitely it's that's why I am how I am. I am a different type of I'm more open to opportunities that others would say no. Just going into my field of work, also, every that's something that has to do with it was an opportunity, and nobody I knew had ever heard of it, and I went and I did not pay attention to what people were telling me. I focused on what people from the field and that were successful were telling me. And, you cannot tell me if you've never done a thing how it's going to work. So basically for you, you are in a world that is evolving. Everything that you do is, is new. We're in a new world. So how am I to tell you how to be in this new world? Well, you're discovering and it's being built as you're building it. I can give you all the support that you need so that you are able to grasp the opportunity that that are given to you, so that you can prosper, because that's, after all, that's the goal of a parent, to see their child prosper and succeed. So and because I had the opportunity to do things differently and in a different environment, and I know you can succeed in this new field that you are, because you are with people that are succeeded, and it's been proven around you that I love this little Thailandese girl, the one that says, "Thank you, Kateki,"
Oh my God.
which is how do you call that? An influencer?
Yeah, she's an influencer.
She's an influencer, and just with a few memes that characterize, and she says it because I saw an interview of her, that she exaggerates. She has a high-pitched tone when she plays this role, that she really plays it out to be like a caricature of a person. And it's fun and it's sweet, and she even brought up a song. So and she's from Thailand, and she's now worldwide known. And Thailand is not much bigger than Haiti as a country. So yes, definitely, I'll give you all the support that I can, and in these new endeavors that are open to the young public. And I think you have what it takes.
You think I have what it takes?
I know you have what it
Mom,
takes.
you're my mom. I feel like you're supposed to say that.
That's not true. That's not true at all. So don't ever say you're my mom. I will tell you if something is not working. Just drop that.
Oh.
Yes. But
I mean, you haven't told me that yet.
really, I think I have.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I
and
have
I just
in
ignored
in
you?
in a very delicate way, and then you found your way. We will talk about that in private. You discovered by yourself, you know, because
Lay it
sometimes,
out on the table. This is a safe space.
yeah, but sometimes when you tell someone, don't do this thing, they're gonna go and do it. So may I tell you, you can do that, but you watch the red lights. Watch if this and that, this should be this way, it shouldn't be that way. That's the only thing I can tell you. If what you're doing brings you peace, joy, abundance, go for it. If it's giving you stress, headache, and it's ripping off your everything that you're doing, so there are little benchmarks that will guide you in what you're doing, definitely. And you've been pretty reasonable, I have to say.
You know what's really funny? Because you give me so much. I mean, granted, I am 26, but you give me so much like free reign and control. But I feel like people would not believe that you were a helicopter parent.
I still am. I stay awake every night you're out.
No, sometimes I come home and you're sleeping. I can hear you.
Yeah, but I was awake just before. So yeah, and I make sure my phone is on so you can call me. So yeah, that's normal. Look at you with Bo. You have him on your dog. You have him on your phone.
I do. I track Bo. I have a tracking collar and I have a camera that watches him.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah, it's normal. So if a dog that you purchased has value for you, how about, I carried you 9 months. So you would think that is more than normal. You're an extension of me.
you
So
did.
definitely.
You carried me and Paul.
Yeah,
How
I carried both of you, yeah.
how was it like being a single mom to me?
Well, nobody gets married with the intention of getting a divorce. And I don't wish that to anybody, to have to raise a child by themselves.
Yeah, because with Paul, you had support, you had a co-parent, but with me,
Yes.
it was just only you.
Yes, definitely. But then, it was so important to me that you you were such a priority to me that I shut down everything else. I think I've seen a lot of single moms going out and dating, and I did not feel confident going into starting another private life of mine until I felt that you were mature and on your way to building your own life, which I did. So yeah, single life was fun because I had chosen to dedicate it to you. It was all about education and looking for everything that I could do to make sure that you get exposed to the most wonderful things that there are in Florida and Miami. What we spend a lot of time in the
Oh, I
museums.
had such a fun childhood.
Yes.
We were always in the museums, always in the libraries,
And the
always at the
seaquarium
seaquarium,
and
Jungle
the jungle
Island,
island and
or like Vizcaya,
yeah,
or doing like something. You like did
biking all over Key
biking,
Biscayne,
roller
all
skating.
the way to the park.
Oh my gosh, we like used to like, we were very active.
Yeah.
I was always
You,
swimming.
honey, we're in Florida. I was in Germany. There was snow, and in Florida, we were staying by the beach on top of it.
Yeah,
There was no reason for us to stay inside.
no.
So,
And then I was homeschooled.
yeah, I homeschooled you because I went to put you in the school which was a very good school in Coral Gables. But then I heard this 5 years old kid cursing with the F word, and I said, if you come home talking like this boy, that's not gonna be good. So, so I said,
Ain't
okay,
nothing usual.
thank you very much, and I think I can do a better job of homeschooling you. And I did. It was a lot of fun for both of us. And yeah, I homeschooled you until fifth grade.
Until sixth grade. I started in the
Yeah,
sixth grade.
exactly.
It aged very well because I knew everything about culture and history. I couldn't spell, but who needs to spell? Because now we have AI.
Yeah, well, it's not so bad like you say, okay?
No, I'm not mad at it because even when I went to
No,
school,
but it's not as bad as you say. I used to make you read a book a day.
I did used to
You used to
read.
do
I read all the time.
You used to do those book,
You used to help me do book reports. I read
yeah.
all the time, but
And
I
you
think
used to
I just
write very well,
always
yeah.
had an insecurity with spelling. And I
Yes.
remember that there was one time they made us do like a spelling bee, like every single grade had to do it. And you sat with me because I couldn't spell these words. And you sat with me and you made me repeat them and repeat them and repeat them. So I'm not mad at you at all. I just think it's funny.
Yeah, but
I think
that's
it's
not as
funny.
bad as you say.
No,
Okay.
definitely not.
Yeah, because
Definitely not.
there was this show called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Oh, we both were horrible at that show. We would watch it all the time though.
Yeah.
But like there were like 40-year-olds adults on that show who weren't smarter than the fifth graders. I was like, where are these fifth graders learning their education? Like, I knew fifth graders who didn't know the answers to those questions. But it was the geometry ones that we got.
Yeah.
Geometry, no, I'm sorry, geography. It was definitely not geometry.
Yeah, but yeah, no, being a single mom to you was a lot of fun, and Miami offers so many activities and arts and Art Basel and all the museum and the Mayfair at the Mocha, the
Yeah.
all this, this was amazing. Miami was an amazing city to be. You remember when Mocha used to have all those after school program with its famous photographers and with Bonnie Clearwater,
Yeah.
that was the director of the museum at the time. I had you enroll in everything. And then the work we did with the Haitian Museum in Savannah and the so we were always out and about in Savannah here and St. Augustine there. I think you got a pretty fun childhood.
Yeah. But
And
I mean, like,
very more informed than most.
but you didn't feel like you were like missing out on anything by like not dating or not like,
I never liked dating.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, I wanted to get married. I didn't want to be dating. So I see those people trying to date, and I'm like, who wants to do that anyway?
But you're telling me to date.
Um,
um,
well,
well,
that's a different thing. You know, I hope you're dating to get married someday. That's how I raised you. So you you have to unfortunately find out who's a frog and who's a prince. So I didn't like dating because I made sure I let people know that I'm not here for the friendship. I'm here for, there's a funny, I'm here for a serious relationship. I'm not, I made sure I stressed and I did not date a lot either. You know, I was very clear that if someone was coming to play around, I was not interested. It didn't go further than going out one time. And at one time you can find out if somebody's serious or not.
yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell if I would date someone within like 15 minutes of a conversation.
Yeah. You should.
And that's before even going on the date.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't date a lot.
So that was, so I did not miss a lot. And then uh, the man I married, I knew him a long time. And I knew what type of a man he was, and he knew what type of a woman I was too. So, value recognize value.
Real
or,
recognizes
or you
real.
say game recognize game.
Real recognizes real. Okay, twin. Like, what? Um, but I
I think
mean,
it's very important that young women this day, especially in Miami, that I believe that we bring a lot to a man's life, and we expect a lot from him too. So it cannot be, and you have to know your value. It's very important. And there are ways that you want to be treated, and you stress that out. And if they cannot fit your standard, then make space for someone else that can do it. But those women are unfortunately, some women are like acting as if they're desperate, and whereas, it's so unfortunate. You, if it's not how it's supposed to be, let it go. Let it go so that the right one comes. So yes, there was nobody that was more important for me than you. And once I made sure you were where I wanted you to be, and then, you know, it just so happened that the person that was meant for me was always there, and was treating me the way I wanted, and be the type of person I that I could look up to, and yeah, so it just all worked out.
but I feel like dating right now is so different from when you were my age.
How different?
I guess it might not be, but I feel as though now, we're in a generation where people aren't very honest with each other. People will like play around, or they'll get into situations when they aren't ready to be in these situations, and then stress themselves out and then try to leave. Like, I feel as though like people aren't honest. I think that hookup culture is very prevalent. I feel like if you don't align with that type of culture, it makes it harder for you to date. I feel like people blame other people for their problems in dating. I think people get into relationships or try to date and they're not over situations, or they're not healed fully, and then they bring it out on someone else. I think people now think that relationships are talking. I feel like people date people to fill space, and they don't date people with intention.
But it ought to fill space, like to have a body.
Yeah. Unless it's always been that way and every generation just romanticizes older generations.
No, there will always be the players and the play yet. and and you know, if whoever you're looking for is there for you, and it might not be in the don't think how he's going to be. Maybe it's somebody from a different culture, like it was for me, because I had there were a few players that I would that I could see that they were players, and I was not that was not for me. And there was a bunch of desperate girls that were making those players feel more special than they should have made them feel. And there was nothing special about those guys. I thought already that I gave them attention, it was already special.
Period.
But you will always have those people, but you have to have enough, wisdom to acknowledge them. Like you say, in a 15 minutes, you can find out who is what. Nowadays, you can Google people. You couldn't Google people before, You can find out about people and without having to ask around. And and I think that's pretty much that's a plus that we didn't have. But if whoever is meant for you, you will find him. Just don't change your standards, and don't let people come and bully you on their relationship that didn't work.
Well, but then how do you feel about different like controversial things such as you're never going to get everything you want, you always have to settle, or yeah, I guess we'll start there.
You will get everything you want. You never have to settle, but you have to believe that. So some people feel like they have to settle. Let them settle. Maybe they let something go by settling, but you know, you you are supposed to get everything you want. Now, as time go by and people get older and people get sick, it's a different thing. But when you're not gonna go in a relationship, enamored with, it's supposed to be perfect uh, in the beginning, and you're supposed to build together so that when it gets hard, one can support the other. But it cannot be hard in the beginning. Then it's not going to work at all when it gets hard. So people that are forcing themselves in a relationship just to be in a relationship, that's a big no-no. Because they're closing the door to what else could be that probably worked for them.
Yeah. I mean, with every single thing I do, whether it's business, relationship, friendship, family, I tend to like listen to my gut. So that also leads me to just like spend a lot of time by myself.
Yes, well, your intuition is God talking to you, telling you don't even go waste your time over there. It's not going to work.
Yeah, this is true.
And then you find out after someone tells you this, that guy did this, and then I said, oh, wow, I was so right.
Pat yourself on the back.
Thank God. It wasn't me.
Oh, Mom, you were hilarious. Like you were so funny. How do you just like stay positive no matter what?
Well, I have a great faith in God. He has not failed me yet. Um, in everything that I have done, he's always been there with me. It's not just going to church, faith in God, and I do all of that too. But this is, for me, is a real relationship, and that I miss this presence when I go astray. When work, for example, or other things occupy my mind so much that I don't have the time to go into the higher spirituality. And nowadays, there's all type of spiritualities which I will not go into.
Yeah.
But God is so simple. It's just, He doesn't complicate things. It's just like, hey, give me 3 fish and 5 bread. That's it. I will feed 1 million people. I mean, it's like, oh, you need wine? Okay, just bring the water over here. It's like, faith
Yeah.
is such an amazing thing that he didn't need anything to make it happen. It's just faith. So, so yeah, God is an amazing part of my life, and I pray that my kids, I've brought that into my children's life, because you're never alone when you have this amazing presence. Um, you have superpowers because you're aligned with with the greatest in the universe. I mean, I'm all excited just talking about it, and that's a great love of my life too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's been my strength, and I want to make sure that you have that you feel that, and I know you felt that, you know, and
I mean, I think I have a good relationship with God. You know, I talk to God every single day. But I'm also such a curious person, which I think I got from you. I'm very into like understanding how the world works, why the world works, what makes people be mean or nice towards each other based on their belief systems. I'm very into understanding why do we have so many different belief systems, but then understanding that they all kind of stem to come get down to the same nitty gritty, which is that there is like a powerful energy, there's a God energy. And you know, I'm into like quantum mechanics and quantum physics. And even I've even gotten you into like quantum physics and manifesting. So,
but manifesting is nothing but prayer.
and that's what I was gonna say to you is where do you find, because you'll watch the same videos as like quantum physics and like I think you texted me the other day and you're like, we have to raise our minimum like belief system so that's higher. So where do you find that connection with that science and that faith?
That just back up what is in the Bible. There's no contradiction in that you have to put yourself in a higher place. Jesus went in the Mount of the Olive to put himself in a higher place, to 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 uh, to raise his vibration. We would say it today.
Yeah.
Fasting, when you fast, when you're in prayer, you're in another dimension. Okay, so they call it raise your vibration nowadays, but it's just a different way to say what Jesus said. And so yeah, I think people tend to overcomplicate things and appropriate or try to make it different. It's a different thing, you
I think
know.
it's all the same.
Yes.
I feel as though like there are different people with different belief systems and God created everyone perfect essentially. Like no, there's no mistakes in how anyone is made or made to believe or any cultures or any like massive groups of people, but I feel as though like God had to create a way to reach every single group of people. And I think that we overcomplicate things sometimes by trying to put God into like this box
Yeah.
when if we can barely like fathom the abilities that we have ourselves. So how can we fathom like an omnipresent,
Yeah.
omnipotent being that we are all simultaneously part of?
And he told us that we are of him, and that we can what he's doing, we can do it too. Is we just don't believe enough. We can walk over water, but we don't believe enough to walk over water. We can move a mountain with our faith, but we don't believe enough to move the mountain. But we move the mountains in our lives with faith, when we have to, you know. So uh, I have an amazing, uh, uh, you know, faith and belief in God, and He has always helped me every time I've called Him. And I pray for both of you, for Paul and for you, and I pray that you have that I pass on this faith and this this love of God and this knowing that He's there for you, that you're not alone.
I mean, I know one thing for a fact is that you definitely passed down your curiosity to both of us. Yeah.
And why do you say that?
Because of all the different like weird interests I have.
Like what?
Um,
Well, I'm very curious about the world. That's true. I love
yeah.
different cultures. I love to
Yeah.
learn new things about different
You speak
cultures.
5 languages.
Yes, yes, I do. I'm learning Chinese now.
You are. Someone asked me if you could say get cozy with Josie in all 5 languages.
Oh, meine Güte.
Meine Güte.
Gemütlich. Let's say it in German, okay?
Okay.
Because the people in Munich, they have this thing about Gemütlichkeit, to be comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And there's even a song about that, the Oktoberfest song about Gemütlichkeit. So, um, Gemütlich mit Josie.
Gemütlich with Josie.
Si, yeah. Et en français, euh, un tête-à-tête avec Josie.
Un tête-à-tête avec Josie.
Uh-huh. En créole, euh, tête ensemble avec Josie.
Tête ensemble avec Josie.
And we already have the English version.
Get cozy with Josie.
Yeah. And
Spanish.
Spanish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Spanish is always.
Yes. Con Josie. Pasamos el tiempo con Josie.
Pasamos el tiempo al Josie. That is cool.
Yeah.
5 languages, Mom? Like, be so for real. Like, and you're learning Mandarin.
Yes, I am. And I'm not going to sing the Chinese song I'm
Please, 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 please. I don't want to get like culturally appropriately canceled.
Yeah.
Until you actually know the lyrics.
Yes, yes.
Please. But that is so like, and you also have like a deep interest in history. What made you get so interested in like, I mean, aside from like being Haitian, but like Haitian history and history in general? Because that was my whole childhood, it was like history.
Yes. Well, I've always been fascinated with history because of our grandparents. They always said your grandpa did this and your grandma did that, and then the history of Haiti is so fascinating in itself that it always made me interested about other countries' history. And I was curious about our roots in Africa because Toussaint Louverture came from Benin, so I had to find out about the Benin culture, and I was fortunate to have this amazing exhibit of the bronze of Benin when we had the museum. Do you remember?
I remember that, yeah.
Yes.
They were incredible.
Yes, they were amazing.
Yeah.
And that's funny because my ex-husband used to be in Nigeria, and I had all those bronze at home. He brought them in Germany. So I'm like, it's like a full circle. I get to exhibit the stuff that I had in decorating my living room. And I know the history this time. I didn't know that. I thought back then that was amazing. We had like a dagger in bronze that Paul's dad had brought, and it was all like from the Middle Age. And I didn't know the history. I just thought it was amazing craft. But with the museum, I learned all this stuff, and all those. Every culture has something amazing. Like the Chinese dynasty, one of the oldest dynasty of the world, and the French, of course, and the Russians, and I mean, wherever you turn is like. So I thought it was fabulous, very inspiring, and you learn from all of those people. The wisdom of the Chinese with Confucius, and the French thinkers and the German philosophers. And the Russian artists and great writers. I mean,
And Haitians for their resilience.
the Haitians are amazing. But they broke. It's the only history in the world where slave kicked out their masters. Nowhere in the history of the world, not even in Rome, Spartacus revolt of Rome, did he had a revolt, but they captured him after.
Yeah.
Nowhere, except of course the Jews, but then God had to come down on earth and open the Red Sea. So the Haitian had to do that with Toussaint Louverture, who was a great believer in God too. You know, so we did have some spirituality behind the whole movement, and it was all unfair. There, you know, this was the people in Haiti was treated the most unfairly in the whole other island because they had to produce. So that all brought this amazing history, and I could, being aware of that, that's why I've incorporated it so much in my art, because when I moved to Germany, nobody knew about Haiti, and my way to tell the story of Haiti was through the paintings. I used to paint the gingerbread and the birds and the flowers.
Yeah, the gingerbread is still one. I have one of your gingerbreads in my room. It's
Yes,
my
you
favorite
do.
painting.
You have the
My absolute
gingerbread.
favorite painting.
But then people were curious, and I found a bunch of old family pictures. You know, your great great uncle was the first Haitian consul in New York, Uncle Ambassador Consul Nicolas, and I found pictures of him in 1870 with his outfit, and I exhibited that in Germany and in France, and people were curious. Why are Haitians wearing dress like that? Like they thought we were living in trees and wearing, you know, mats
Yeah.
and stuff. So I had to explain that this is the first black country. We help free other countries. We send people in Greece to fight. This is an amazing, incredible history. Haiti voted for Israel, for example.
Mom, that didn't age
A lot
well.
of Jews flew in from at the time. Germany had had everything amazing except this awful part of the time where the Nazi were there, and Haiti was the country to declare that the Jews could come to Haiti and be safe and give them visas. And
I do remember that.
yes,
I saw an exhibit and there was a passport. We went to go see it. There was a Jewish passport with a Haitian visa stamp on
yes,
it.
yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That we helped a lot of families escape and recoup, and that's just a little country. And that is why this country cannot be ignored. We voted also for countries to be free, like Libya and Ethiopia. If you can think of all the impact this little country had in the history of the world, it cannot be allowed that what's happening with this country happens. I believe that the minds of the world, if we have rights, human rights, is because Haiti abolished slavery. Before that, people could be treated like animals. So people that believe in human rights all over the world should say this place is a sacred place for humanity, not just for the abolition of slavery. And people should pilgrim to Haiti, just like people pilgrim to see the doors of where the slaves used to live. I forgot where, in Africa. And they should have a pilgrimage for people to come and see. You go see where they started slavery, go see where it ended, you know? So I think that is, and they should rebuild all everything that was destroyed. The Palais Sans Souci, they should rebuild it. I mean, in Germany was totally crushed down by the war. They rebuilt everything, every castle, as if that they had never been destroyed.
Really? I
Yes,
didn't know
and
that.
Henri Christophe did a few castles, I think 10 maximum, and the Palais Sans Souci was destroyed, and nobody rebuilt it. They should rebuild that. That's a lot of things should be rebuilt
I
all
mean,
over the country.
I can agree with you because I feel because of how I grew up and because I understood my history, I had a very keen sense of who I was culturally and as a person. Like, don't get me wrong, like I had like obviously like teenage insecurities, but I never lost sight of like my pride of my culture. And I truly believe that to know where you come from and to understand where you come from is to know who you are.
Definitely. If you know who you are, they cannot make you believe who you are not.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, Mom, you're cool. You know a lot of things. I keep trying to like tell people, I'm like, oh, it's like so cool. Like she knows like so many like interestingly cool things.
Yeah. And one of the things I'm happy about is that I never gave up the painting. I still do, even though I'm in corporate America. I still honor Haiti every month of May. I participate in exhibits, and it's my way to give back. I've published those books
You
that you
have
told me
them
not to
with you.
show.
No, I wanted you to bring them out when it was ready. You can bring them out. They're right there. Don't put me on the spot like that. I said, Mom, just don't start the podcast with the books in your hand because that's not what we're going to talk about right away. But I love your books. I'm very proud of your books. You inspired me to write my own children's book.
Yes, yes, I'm happy I did. I think it's an amazing thing to be an author because how we did this book. Remember, we used to go in the library, in the
Yeah.
Miami library, look for books about Africa, Korea, and there were every country, and there was nothing about Haiti. And you were like, Mom, there's nothing about Haiti. Like, and I'm like, all these things you're telling me about Toussaint Louverture, I'm gonna wonder if it's true because nobody wrote about that. Like, I said,
I
okay.
don't know if I said that when I was 5.
Yeah, but you were like, Mom, like all the things you're telling me, there's no book to say that. Like,
Yeah.
because I used to tell you your favorite story time were always stories about Haiti. And
Sophie and the Tamarind Tree. Made up stories. I genuinely believed you had a friend named Sophie. The whole time I found out it was you. You were the one causing mischief. And you know what's so funny is that as I got older, I always thought that you were like the good one. Then I would meet your friends that went to school with you, and they would say that you were the one that would be causing problems. You were the one that would be making jokes and always laughing in class.
yeah,
And they were
yeah.
like, your mother was always
Yeah,
joking
me
and
and
laughing.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth was not was also special.
Special.
Yeah, but you see how amazing she did. She was always special in
Yeah.
a way, and her mother always supported her too.
Yeah.
She was a child artist. Her mother always supported her child art. Everybody in Haiti was like, but
But
so
that's how you are with me. Like you literally support every single thing I do.
yes, because some things I don't support, and I tell you,
But so far, I
and I
mean, my
tell you,
agency, my
yeah,
job,
yeah.
my podcast, modeling, you haven't said anything about any of those.
Well, these are all, like I tell you, opportunities of those new times. How could I give you advice of things I don't know about? You know that children learn from their parents, but parents learn from their children too. And some parents are not humble enough to accept that they can learn from their children. But all these things about influencer, podcast, you're inviting me here. This is the new world that I am from the old world. So I have to learn from you about this new world. And this new world has a lot of opportunities. And, and if I can support you, I certainly will. So yes, I think that's amazing that what you did with the modeling, opening your own agency with your friend, and that with the podcast. I think that's just the top of the top, and I think it's going to become a huge it's going to have a huge success.
You heard it here first.
Yes, and your influencer, just, did you know what this little talented girl did? She has somebody that watches over her. It's called Kateki. Just like in Haiti, we have Mon Premier, right? Or, and she made a meme out of saying thank you to the guys
Yeah.
that's been watching over, okay? And she became world famous with that. But just saying thank you, mon premier. Merci, mon premier, you know? I don't know what kateki means
Oh
in
gosh.
Thailand,
Okay.
but I'm having an idea of, and I think that's amazing that she used this post, and she explains to you that this is a caricature of herself. That's not really her, but can you imagine how this now she was invited at Coachella.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But there's also so many things that I'm like particular about because I'm also Miss Haiti. So also can't like caricature myself too much, nor do I really want to. And then
No, but
also
you
with
have your own style. Everybody has their own
yeah.
style. Yeah, I'm
And then
just
also
saying
with
this.
like modeling, that was one of the reasons why I made this platform was to showcase like that like women, especially during the first season, beautiful women can have depth, myself included, because
Can
I'm
have what?
depth.
You mean, okay, in
Yeah,
French, de la profondeur. Yeah.
we because like I'm in an industry where that's not expected out of me. And I got tired of it being surprising. And I realized that like I would like influence my people in my own way through like telling people like mindset. I realized I influence a lot of people with like mindset because I did a lot to change my mindset. And I kind of tend to like uplift people in the way that I think. I give people different perspectives of thinking in a more positive way. So I wanted to also like have a platform to showcase that. So I feel like even with me being like an influencer, I'm small, but like I have a community. And I think I'll grow. You know, you told me this. You have to have multiple things going on, and something's gonna bite.
Yes, well, if you build it, they will come. So sometimes you cannot wait for somebody to give you a place at their table. You have to build your own table. So right now you're building your own table.
I feel like I've built every table that I'm sitting at.
Yes, and most probably successful people
Yeah,
that had to build their table. So it's okay to be a builder.
very much a builder.
Yeah,
Very much Josie the builder. Yeah.
yeah. But it's also it's in your gene. You have an entrepreneurial gene in you. Your dad is an entrepreneur. He's your grandfather from the German side. They're old entrepreneur people. I'm more intellectual, um, but I had to learn entrepreneurial. But for you, it's natural, you know?
I mean, I definitely got the hard working from you
Yeah.
because I would see you like you would always take me to networking events with you. You would always have me working with you late. Like it was never anything new to me to be working until like midnight or like 1 a.m. or like coming home very late or to be like driving for hours. So like a lot of the things that I do that a lot of people say that like it's like strenuous and like I don't know how you do it so much, but like I grew up doing it and like watching you do it.
Yeah, people think that because we are so graceful at doing it, that there's not a lot of effort after behind what we do. And that we're just lucky. But what I've learned is the more you work, the luckier you get. Okay? And but people don't see that aspect. They don't see that you had to fix the light and do everything and organize everything. They see you sitting here
They don't
and
see me
behind
up
the
at
camera.
4 o'clock in the morning on set and then working somewhere else and wearing the same outfit and makeup since 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And it's currently like 9 p.m.
Yes. No, they don't see that.
No.
And that's because you so gracefully make it look like that there's no work, but there's a lot of work behind it. And that's where the more you work, the more you get opportunities.
But I feel like when it comes to working so hard, I struggle with being feminine because I feel like I'm always like going and going and
Oh,
going.
you look pretty much feminine now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, my producer gave me the hand signal, and I say this with every episode because we always end up talking so much. But I want to show the books. Show me
Oh,
the books.
okay. So these are the books that I published back then,
You want to raise it
2009,
higher?
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're about the story of my beautiful island of Haiti. That's my school in Haiti. I'm here playing hopscotch, and the nuns are in the back watching over us. And these are the bougainvillea blooming. So that's my the background of my childhood. And in the back it's the Haitian monument, because it talks about one of the greatest achievements is the Haitian that fought in the American Revolution. Few people know about that. So yes, the book was a success in the Haitian community.
Mm-hmm.
And it's available on Amazon and as an audiobook
Okay.
with my fabulous voice. And Ellen, your friend's mom, Ellen
Okay.
Seppi, the singer, she did the introduction. So
Amazing.
that's the only thing I will show.
Okay. Well, on that note, um, I want to thank you, Mom, for coming on my podcast and for being yourself, your wonderful, beautiful, authentic self, for inspiring me, for always supporting me, no matter what. Because I said, I want to make a podcast, and you were like, okay, just do it.
Yes.
And for never being surprised at my accomplishments.
Never being surprised
Yes,
about?
my accomplishments.
No, I'm here to be your cheerleader and your support and everything you need.
Oh my God. I made it through the entire interview without crying. I usually cry when I talk about my mom. And I'm not going to start crying now. So, with that being said, I want to, oh my God, I'm going to cry. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the season finale of Get Cozy with Josie. I've been your host, Josie Lentner. You can find me at Josie Lentner on all socials and at Get Cozy with Josie's Pod. We'll be back next season for a whole nother season, a whole new guest. I'm very excited. And thank you all for getting cozy with me. And if you want to give yourself an introduction or an outro, or you want to say anything, you can say that now. I'm going to try to not cry.
Well, I think it's an amazing podcast. Keep doing that. Keep lifting up young people, giving them a voice. I loved your guest that you had. I loved Queen. I loved everyone, and I'm looking forward to listening to them. And get cozy to Josie to the world.
Thank you guys for getting cozy with us, and get cozy with Josie to the world. Bye.